Today is Friday, October 18th, and it is a blue day. Welcome to WSMS. Please give your attention to Lillian for the pledge.
Good morning. Please join me in a moment of silence. Please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remember to show respect, make a difference, and set the bar high. Have a great day. Now back to the announcers.
Present the musical Beauty and the Beast Jr. tonight at 6 p.m. Door A will be open at 5:30 and seating will begin at 5:30. Admission is $3 for students and $5 for adults. We plan to sell light up roses for $5 for as long as supplies last.
This musical is directed by our very own Julia Nuremberg. Belle is played by Kate Asselson, Gaston is played by Chris Gomez, and the Beast is played by Joel Benavides. Will Gaston defeat the Beast for Belle's heart? Will the Beast win Belle's heart and gain his freedom? Who will Belle choose? You'll have to come to find out yourself.
Hello, SMS Spartans. Please remember to bring money to the cafeteria commons at your lunch period.
SMS Student Council will be selling pink gum all lunch periods to help support breast cancer research. Money raised will be donated to the American Cancer Society. Gum costs $1.50. Buy for yourself and for your friends, too. Also, don't forget to bring your star card to lunch.
Attention, NJHS members, don't forget this Monday is the bake sale. Please bring your baked goods and pumpkins to the office Monday morning so we can get them ready for the sale. Also, we still need some volunteers to work at the sale. Please check your emails for volunteer opportunities.
Attention NJHS members, please make sure you turn in your dues to the treasurer's box in the office as soon as possible. Thank you.
There will be no Magic Club on 10/23 because of student-led conferences. We will meet on 10:30 in the IMC.
Attention cross-country team, don't forget that our team party is Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Gymnastics Michiana. See you there.
The following students need to go to Miss Ladson's room immediately: Brendan Fox, Noah Schaefer, Cash Reynolds, and Maverick Poe. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
Welcome back to 5-Star Life. Coach Seth here to challenge you to live fearless. Now remember, by living fearless, we're not talking about eliminating all fear. You're going to experience fear. It's not letting fear hold you back from living a 5-star life. Now, we've talked for the last 5 weeks about all these fears that can cripple us and hold us back. But not every fear is bad. There's a couple natural fears that you and I are born with. Every human is born with the fear of heights, right? You're on the edge of a cliff. If you take a step, you'll die. It's a natural fear built in to protect you. The second fear is similar. It's the fear of loud noises, right? If there's something dangerous near you, like a Mack truck or an animal or a dog that could attack you, your sensors goes off. There's this natural sensor that says, hey, it's danger, be careful, it's to protect you. However, the problem is when we learn these fears over time through life to be afraid. Now, the first 5 weeks we talked about this, these fears we learned, to be afraid of failure so we don't step out. The fear of being rejected. The fear of including others based on how others will look at us if we're around certain people. The fear of change, and so we just stay comfortable. All these fears will hold us back. But today, I want to talk about a natural fear we have that actually can help us. See, we are born with a natural fear of drugs, of alcohol, of cigarettes. Like we hear these things growing up, right? We go through these little things in school. They bring in these people that talk to us about the ills and the dangers of drugs and alcohol and tobacco and cigarettes and, marijuana and vaping. And we all get it. We're like, we're going to stay away from that stuff. But there's a point in our lives where something shifts. We have a healthy fear for the damage these things can do to us. But sometime around the adolescent years, there's a shift that occurs where when we start to see our friends, not just these strangers, sometimes in Safetyville and in the drug programs, it's almost like they make it out to be these people. They're going to be wearing black trench coats and in these scary white vans. They're going to offer you drugs and alcohol. But when it's your friends, and you see these friends, taking a puff of a cigarette or smoking weed or drinking alcohol, and you don't see them collapse and die, and it seems like it actually enhances their fun, there's this slow shift. Instead of fearing the damage that can happen, we start to fear that we're going to be the only person that's not adventurous, or that we're soft, or we're not cool, and look, everybody's doing it. It's weird, this strange shift that takes place. Now, on one hand, we know that marijuana, literally, if you want to be a good student in school, we know it fries your brain. We know it kills brain cells. We know it damages the brain. We know that students who struggle and fail classes often is because of marijuana use. Vaping, we know that there's dangerous chemicals, right? That there's nicotine. A lot of people, misunderstand and they think you vape because it's better or healthier for you. Actually, we don't know what all's in this stuff. We don't know the long-term effects yet. A lot of people think it's actually worse than smoking cigarettes. It's all bad for us. We know that. But something shifts when we see our friends do it. My question is this. Are you going to fear the long-term effects that you know to be true based on studies and research, or are you going to let some friends trying it and surviving and being rejected by those friends win you over and change your mindset? See, what happens is we actually trade fears. We actually fear taking the right step more than we fear the impacts of taking the wrong step. So what happened to my friend Jay Young? Close friends in middle school, athlete, super smart kid, just like the life of the party. You just want to be around him. He's just fun. And he grew up knowing how dangerous alcohol was because his dad was an alcoholic. And when he was drunk, which was just about every night, he was violent, he was abusive. So Jay would come to me with black eyes, he would have scars, he had a painful childhood. And so he knew he didn't want anything to do with it, right? It was not cool, it was bad. But his dad, when he was angry and was violent, would hit him. He'd call him a sissy. And so Jay had this thing inside him like, I want to be hardcore. I want to be tough. And so as he got into middle school and high school, he started befriending some other guys that were into alcohol, that were into smoking weed, that were into some drugs. And he noticed that these guys seem cool. They seem like they're having fun. They seem healthy. They were athletes. He got into it and ended up ODing. Jay Young is no longer here because he chose to fear taking the right steps and avoiding those things more than he feared the negative consequences. And that's what you and I cannot do. It's a life or death situation, literally. There should be red flags and alarm bells going off in your head the moment you start to fear doing the right thing, taking the right step, more than you fear being rejected or by doing the wrong thing. I was talking to some of our 5 select basketball players, and they were just having an open conversation. We're on our way to practice, and they were just talking about how over the last year and a half, how they've had to totally change their friend group because a lot of their friends they grew up with are starting to vape, starting to drink, starting to smoke, starting to do things that they know there's no way I'm going to do. And that is very difficult because, this fear of being accepted, this fear of even hurting people and rejecting others and come across as though we're arrogant or prideful or better than them, that's a real fear. But these guys had the courage to do that. And I want to encourage you, listen, there will be times in your life where you'll have to make tough decisions, where you will have to make choices to step out and have courage, which we define as having the strength to do what's right rather than what's popular or even comfortable. Again, this fear of making the right step, the right choice, when it happens, alarm bells go off. I've got to do the right thing. There's a girl who was in our program several years ago, and she ultimately had the courage. She actually listened to one of our lessons just like this, and she said, okay, it's time for me to have the courage to speak up about this. For 3 years, just about every week, she was being abused by a family neighbor friend. And the FBI got involved, investigated it, and found that this jerk was actually abusing 11 other girls. He's now serving multiple life sentences. And it all changed when she had the courage to say, you know what? I'm going to stop listening to his fear. He put fear in her that, hey, if you tell your mom, if you tell anybody, I will hurt her and everybody close to you. This is between me, you, and God. She had this fear of the consequences of doing the right thing. Alarm bells didn't go off until she heard me say, have the courage to step forward. What does that look like? Sometimes it's removing yourself from friend groups. In her situation, it was going to a trusted adult, to a teacher, to a guidance counselor, to the police, to a parent, and saying, this is what's going on. People want to support you. People want you to live a 5-star life. But you've got to want to take the right steps more than you fear being rejected or fearing the worst happening. Your choice, I have a lot of choices, could determine a 5-star life, death, or who knows what, staying where you are stuck. Choose today to have the courage to live a 5-star life. Take that step. Good luck.